Hi everyone and welcome to a new video. In this video, we're going to take a look at how you can make those 10x and 100x gains in the NFT space. If you like the sound of that, be sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe at the end of the video. In this video, we're going to discuss a lot of different topics, so depending on what you want, you can use the timestamps in the description of this video and jump to the section that is most interesting to you. First things first, I am not a financial advisor, so nothing in this video is financial advice. This is purely the way I look at things, the way I look at NFTs, and how I am looking for these opportunities. Second thing I want to mention is that right now there's a lot of scams going on, so if you're new to the crypto space, please don't start with this video and get yourself familiar on how exchanges work, what a DEX is, how MetaMask works, and so forth before you jump into things like this. It is very simple. If there is a hype going on and people are throwing with money, then of course scammers will gladly take advantage of this, and this is exactly what is going on. So if you don't know how everything works, you are a very easy target to get scammed. So please educate yourself before you jump into these things. So where do we get started? Well, basically you could get started on a marketplace. The biggest one right now is OpenSea, then we have Rarible. Those are all available on Ethereum mainnet, and as we all know, the gas fees are insane. You don't want to be paying $300 or $400 to mint an NFT that is worth less. So I can understand a lot of people are looking at different places, like for example Solana. There you have Solana Art, Solsea, and so forth. Another interesting evolution is of course Immutable X. This is a network that is completely designed purely for NFTs, and as soon as you bridge some capital, you bridge some Ethereum over to this platform, there will be zero gas fees on all the transactions. So yes, there is a potential on this platform, and especially I think when TikTok is going to launch their NFTs on this platform, a lot of people will start using Immutable X. So you could take a look at this and see it as a future investment. Of course, we have to hope that Immutable X will boom before the end of this bull run. Otherwise, you will have to wait all the way through a bear market before all the NFTs will start pumping. All right, let's start with the first thing you have to watch out for. Everything that is on a marketplace has been minted already. Usually, the price of an NFT is not going below the minting price unless the project is really dead and gone, and then you shouldn't be buying it either way. Now, if it's a good NFT platform, you should have some statistics. Usually I just filter on price low to high, and then the lowest in the list will determine the floor price at that time. So when we're looking at Solana Art and we see the Degenerate Ape Academy, then we see that the floor price is 60 Solana. Now the first thing you'll notice is that some people are selling below their purchase price. Now it is also interesting to know, for example, this project launched when Solana was a lot lower in price. For example, I bought mine for I think about 20 Solana, and that was about $800 to $1,000. Right now the floor price is 60 Solana, but of course the price of Solana is a lot higher. So of course there are two ways to look at it. You could say, okay, I invested $800 and right now it's worth $9,600. That is over a 10x gain. Or you can look at it from a SOL perspective and say, hey, otherwise I would have kept the SOL token anyway, so I only made a 3x gain. And I think this is something very important to keep in mind. A lot of people are still calculating the price and the price gains in dollars. This means if, for example, Solana would go all the way up to $200, there is a real chance that the floor price of the Degen apes is going down, simply because the value of a Degen ape in a dollar amount has gone up significantly. Next up, you have to look at some metrics. If you have a good marketplace, you have metrics like price history, for example, and you can see the evolution of the price and the average price for the token. We also see the volume down here, and we see that the volume has gone down significantly. And this also shows you immediately one of the problems with NFTs. Unlike a token you can sell on the market, and if the liquidity is high enough, then you can easily sell your tokens. Right now, we are talking about 8 sales, 13 sales, 20 sales, 14 sales, 18 sales, 61 sales, and so forth. And we see that we have 1,281 different apes listed for sale right now. So if you can imagine that we are selling only 10 to 15 apes a day, then you can imagine that a lot of apes are just sitting there for weeks and weeks and weeks. So from that perspective, I think it is important to keep in mind, if you're just doing it for the investment, always buy floor price. Why do I say this? Because a lot of people are not going to scroll down and see which features and properties an NFT has. They're just going to look at the picture, or they just want to get one as quickly as possible that will give them access to something, or because they think the price will go up. And in that case, you just want to buy the cheapest one, and you just want to see the floor price going up and then get rid of it for the floor price, because usually if people are going to buy, and especially if you're only selling 10 to 100 a day, then they will buy the first ones, and they will not scroll all the way to the middle of the page and pay 50% more than the floor price. Now, if you can agree that most people are buying NFTs simply to make a quick buck, then we can agree that we should treat them as any other investment. Now, if you've been into IDOs and all the stuff like that, you know that almost all the IDOs, they pump on the first 2 days and then they start to level off. Just as an example, we're going to take a look at Kaiju Islands. So Kaiju Islands is a blockchain game. It's going to be a mobile game, and it launched on Polkastarter. We can see that it is now 8 cents. It's important to know that the IDO price was 3 cents, so it's still practically a 3x. But when we look at the first day, the price shot up all the way almost to 16 cents, so that's more than a 5x, and then people start taking their profits. So if you would have bought right here, then you would probably have paid 15 cents, and then you would now be at a 40% loss. Now in this case, I think it's very important to know they already had a working game before the launch, before they launched their own token. The team is public, the team has a lot of experience in mobile gaming, they already made games in the past, and it's VC backed, so this is definitely a good project. It is not tanking because the project is not good. This is simply the way it goes with IDOs. So if you have a little bit of patience and you were not able to get into the IDO, just wait 1, 2, 3 weeks or maybe even more, and you will see the price dropping. Now, if you're asking me if this is a guarantee, of course not. Every now and then you have the exceptional project that just shoots up, everybody wants to get in, and then it keeps moving up for a few weeks, but then again we'll have a blow off top and it will start correcting. This kind of curve is basically the same for practically every IDO. So here we have Polychain Monsters. It launched earlier this year, so at a very high price because there was a lot of hype on this and people made like 60x returns. And then of course they started selling off because they wanted those gains and they wanted to use the gains for something else. Now finally the project is recovering, but as you can see, usually it is better to wait 2, maybe 3 weeks before you buy into one of these projects. And the same logic applies to NFTs as well. Just to prove my point, we see here Mekaverse. This was a big project this month. They launched at a floor price of about 4 ETH, and right now we see that it's dropping below the 2 ETH mark. Again, if you really want to get into a project and you were not able to get on the whitelist to mint early, then it's probably better to wait, see how the project evolves, see if they can maintain a good community, and then when all the hype is cooled down, the prices will cool down as well, and that will be a better time to get in. Another one that just launched was Kaiju Kings. Really cool project. I suggest checking it out, but as we can see, it's not accessible for the most of us. We're at about 4 ETH. When we take a look at the activity, we see that we launched at basically 4.5 ETH, and now only a few days later, the price is going down a little bit already. Now I know everybody wants to find the next Bored Ape Yacht Club or the next CryptoPunks. Sadly, the chances of finding those when hundreds and hundreds of projects are launching every day are very slim. Now looking at Bored Ape Yacht Club, we see that the floor price is 36 ETH, so yes, that is very impressive. Now if we then go back to Kaiju Kings, then we see that we need a 10x on Kaiju just to get on that level. Chances of that happening are very slim, so how the hell are people screaming 100x, 1000x, and so forth when it comes to NFTs? Well, that's the same situation that we have with the regular token launches. You have to get in early, you have to get in before they arrive on the marketplace, just as you have to get into a project before it arrives on, for example, Binance, on Uniswap, and so forth. Now, because the NFT space is still so new, we don't have the same solutions that we have for the token market, if I can call it that way. On the regular market, we have Duckstarter, Polkastarter, and 100 different other launchpads where you can securely and easily get into projects in early stage. This means we'll have to get our information in a different way, and the first place to start is, of course, Twitter. What you can do is search on some tags like NFT giveaway. As you can see, there are plenty of projects launching every day and plenty of giveaways are going on every single day. Now looking at this tag, you will see other tags as well, so hashtag NFT, hashtag NFTs, and so forth. So start looking on these different tags and see what you can find. Now, as soon as you find a project that you like, you will notice that almost every single NFT project has a Discord link. That's why you also need to create a Discord, and this is actually where all the magic happens. So usually there are a lot of giveaways going on Twitter, but if you want to get whitelisted, you have to get into the Discords. The first thing you'll do is check out the announcements, and the next thing you do is look for some information on how to get whitelisted. So in this case, we have a very clear whitelist FAQ with all the information you need to get whitelisted. So basically, getting whitelisted is getting into an IDO. This means that you'll be able to mint the project before it arrives on the marketplace, and you'll be able to buy in at a very cheap price. Think of prices like 0.01 ETH, 0.05, and so forth. The more expensive ones are 0.1, 0.2. But yeah, so the prices range between $50 and $600 when it comes to new NFT projects. Now, it's important to note that usually, even if you don't get on the whitelist, there will be a public minting date. This means that the public can also mint at the low price. The only problem is everybody is going to try and mint those NFTs. So there will be a gas war, and especially if it's on Ethereum and if it's a popular project, you'll be paying $1,000, $1,500, or at least a few $100s in gas fees. And if the transaction fails because you were not fast enough, then you will lose half of your fees. So yeah, for most of us, minting on the public date is not the best option. And even if you think that you can click very fast, keep in mind that most of the people who are active in the NFT space, they're using bots to buy these NFTs, so you can't be as fast as they are. Now, to go back to one of the previous examples, we have Kaiju Kings over here. So the price right now for one NFT, for one Kaiju, is 3.6 Ethereum. And as we can see here, the mint price was 0.6666, and there were only 3,333 Genesis Kaijus available. Now, there are a few tips that I want to give you guys. If you get into a project early, there are a lot of projects that are giving away free whitelist spots to people who are in there first. So for example, the first 100 or first 200 people. Then in general, people who are very active and helpful in the community, they also get a whitelist. And then usually they have a bunch of competitions going on. So if you're a very creative person, be sure to look for the fan art section. Usually there is a fan art competition going on as well. Now, because the NFT space is still growing and these launches are very unregulated, we don't have any launchpads and so forth, that means there is a lot of scamming going on Telegram and on Discord and so forth. So if you're in a very popular project, expect to get some direct messages, and in these direct messages they will try to sell you either on new projects, or they will try to sell you on the current project and say, hey, you are selected for an early mint, even though the project is not minting yet. This is always a scam. The only real information that you will see is always in the announcement channel, so every single direct message that you get, click report and close it. Don't even read it. It is always a scam or just spam. So keep that in mind. Never click any of those links. Now, I think the beauty of the NFT space is that you can get started without any money or any investment. Just take a look at how many NFT giveaways we have here. And as we know, downloading MetaMask is free. Clicking on create a new MetaMask account is completely free. So you can create your wallet for free, you can create your Twitter for free, you can create your Discord for free, and you can enter these silly giveaways all for free. So it will take some time, it will take some effort, but as soon as you got an NFT, you can sell it. Now, the only problem is that you'll need some gas fees. So if you're entering these giveaways, my suggestion is to focus on non-Ethereum giveaways. For example, giveaways on Avalanche, on Solana, and so forth, because the gas fees are much lower. And yes, you are correct, then you still don't have any money to sell the NFTs, but I'm 100% certain if you are active in a community and you will simply ask them if they can give you $0.01, that somebody will send you that very small amount of money so you can mint or sell your first NFT. Now, if you're serious in getting into NFTs, then I think you should invest in one of these tools. For example, we have Mobi.gg. We had a lifetime subscription for 0.1 ETH, but it seems like they stopped with this, and you have to pay 0.1 ETH for 6 months, so that's about 60-70 bucks. But there are a few free features on here as well. So yeah, take a look at this. You can follow the market, see what the top gainers and top losers are, and so forth. Another one is ic.tools. Again, we get some free information, and then there are a few paid functions. And I think the most known and extensive one is Nansen. You can try it out for 7 days for just $9, but then don't be surprised at the normal price. You have to pay $150 every month to use this tool. And if you want the VIP tool, it's $1,500 per month. So yeah, this is not for us beginners. If you made it this far in the video, you probably noticed there are a lot of similarities with the rest of the crypto market. This means that you also have to do your research. Sadly, none of the NFT projects have a white paper and they usually have an anonymous team, so doing research is a little bit more difficult. The most important thing, however, is the community, because each of these NFT projects, they are completely driven by the community, and those are the people who create the demand for a certain project. So if you see a project with a lot of followers on Twitter and a lot of people in the Discord, then it's very important that you check that they are active, that they are not fake members, or that at least the community is really active and supporting the project, and that they're not just following to get a free NFT or whatever. You really have to check if the people are active, and this will give you a good feel of how many people are truly supporting the project. Of course, when you're in a project very, very early, this is not something you can do. And the only thing you can do is try and identify the people who are important in the NFT space, and as soon as they start promoting a project or they join a project, that will give the project some legitimacy. The next thing you'll have to keep in mind that there are also market cycles. So we also have an altcoin season and we also have NFT seasons. So as soon as Bitcoin starts pumping, as it has done this week, all the money will flow to Bitcoin, floor prices of NFTs will drop, the prices of the altcoins will drop, and as soon as the price action for Bitcoin becomes boring, we see the money flowing back to Ethereum, back to the large cap, back to the mid cap, and then back to the small caps. The same thing is true for NFTs. So right now we see that the floor prices are dropping, and if you have some really good projects, this might create a buying opportunity for you to get in cheap. Now, the last piece of advice that I want to give in this video, especially for those of you who are going to ape into every single project, is that first of all, make a different wallet. So even if you get scammed, they don't have anything, or at least the damage is limited. So I would suggest using a different browser, install a new MetaMask and use that one. Second, create a new Twitter and a new Discord, because you will be joining a lot of channels. The last thing you could consider is going for a second laptop or a dual boot system. This way you can keep all your degen stuff away from your regular work, and at least that will buy you peace of mind. And I think that might be important, because if you're going for all these crazy projects very early on, the chances that you're getting scammed at some point are just probably 90%. So yeah, keep that in mind. If you want to have peace of mind, you could consider creating a clean install just to do stuff like this. Alright, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed this, please post a comment, because it will help push the video in the YouTube algorithm and help grow this channel. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.